We are back with the wonderful Ron Lewis, and he is going to bring the day together and close us out.
All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. First, let me say this. There could have been any student that had the opportunity to sign up for this. When you signed up, you probably put something on the back burner. When you signed up, you probably adjusted your schedule. When you signed up, somebody probably said, you really going to that? But you're here. So I commend you for sticking it out through the entire day. I commend you for learning and growing with your group, because I will tell you, I think reflection is one of the hardest things we can do, especially when it's about self. So it is my hope that as we kind of summarize the day, that you would gain even more insight, and that whatever program you design, you're willing to share, because I would love to hear it. But more importantly, when you go back to your respective housing, whether it's on campus or off campus, that you will be ready to take some type of action for yourself. You will be ready to take some type of action because you know that your action and your progression moving forward will help someone else move forward more than anything. So with that said, what I would like to do is I want to recap. I kind of want to bring all the sessions together. Everything we talked about together, including my session, Madeline's session, Dr. Megan's session, and Kenny's session, all together. And as I was listening to the sessions, because I'm a fan of learning, because I live by a quote. Again, I have many of them. But living is learning and learning is living. I never stop learning as long as I live. It is just embedded in my DNA. I love to learn. And I love to learn from smart people. And every presenter that you heard today, I took something down. I took away something that I want to share with you. Now, you have your own takeaways. But here are some of my takeaways that I think resonated with me, and I think it may resonate with you. So mine resonates with me because I spoke. But number one thing I want you to take away was the rules of leadership. I think that's very important. And above all, remember, leadership is service first. You gotta own it, okay? You gotta own it. If you want people to follow you, be worth following. Let me say that again twice. If you want people to follow you, because again, leadership or leaders without followers is just a lonely walk. If you want to be a leader and you want to have people follow you, be worth following. Live with the level of integrity where people say, I want to do that. I want to be like that person. And that doesn't come from a title. That comes from your actions, your attitude, your behavior. Next, creativity equals failure. Well, isn't that true? Yes, it is. If you're going to do something new, expect to fail at it. It doesn't mean you're not good. It just means it's going to need more work. That's it. Nothing major. If you play basketball, you take a shot, you're going to miss the shot. You have at least a 50% chance of missing the shot. But the more you prepare, the less times you miss. Does that make sense? I heard a great quote this week. Again, I have plenty of them, but this one resonated with me personally. And the quote was, the person that prepares the most cares the most. The person that prepares the most cares the most. If you want to show someone that you care and you got a presentation or an assignment, prepare extra for it. And I'll tell you, Marvin will tell you, I would stay up to like 2, 3 in the morning preparing for only half of what I use. Kind of what I did today. I only used half of the information, but I'm so prepared because that's how much I care about delivering information to you. I think it would be a complete robbery for me to take your time and for me to get up here and not be thorough and not be prepared. That would do you a disservice as a student. You took time out of your day, you put something on the back burner. At least I can do is be prepared so you can walk away at least with 1 or 2 ideas that could potentially change your academic, your professional, or your personal life. Last but not least, the AMP philosophy. I don't care what you do. I don't care how many times you fall. I don't care how many times you get knocked down. All I want you to do is just keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward for yourself. Keep moving forward for your parents. Keep moving forward for your family. Keep moving forward for your dreams. Keep moving forward for the little girl or little boy that you're going to meet in the future. And they're going to ask you, how did you do that? If you stop moving, you'll never tell them. Keep moving forward. Okay. Madeline. Here's some takeaways I took from Madeline. Again, smart people in the room. I love smart people. I love to learn. Here we go. Number one, layers to our story. We all got layers. And she talked about the personality. We have a unique one, and we shouldn't try to fit our personality into anyone else's. She talked about our internal and our external dimensions. And she talked about the eras that we live in. Okay? Next takeaway, self-awareness. The first step of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. And this is going to come back true once we tie everything together. And then last but not least, the C.S. Lewis quote. Some of you didn't write it down. Don't worry, I got you. You are what you believe. Isn't that true? You actually are what you believe. This is why I always say, huh? When someone says, hey, did you hear what this person said about me? Or people get so upset when people talk about them in such a negative way. And my question is, do you hear what you say about you? Do you bully yourself? Do you bully yourself? Do you put yourself down so much that it's hard to rise up? My encouragement, don't bully yourself. We need you empowered. We need you inspired. We know you're going to make a mistake. No one's perfect. You're designed to make mistakes, but you're also designed to rebound from any mistake, okay? That's what I took away from that personal branding talk. Dr. Megan, here's what I took from her talk. Number one, capturing your vision. The thing I want you to keep in mind about that particular point, it resonates with me, is this. Just because your vision is over here doesn't mean everyone is going to see the same vision. Not everyone is going to see the same vision, because sometimes the great creator designed something specifically for you that no one else can see. Just you, not me. He gave each and every one of us a new talent. He gave each and every one of us something new within us. He gave us a talent that we have that no one else has. And because you have that talent doesn't mean we're better or worse than anyone. We just have something different and unique. So capture your vision. And if everyone doesn't see the vision, that's okay. They're not designed to. Next, networking. And the biggest thing I took from this piece is you never know who's in the room. And I'll tell you, at the University of St. Francis, they're known for their nursing program. And I ask my students often, well, how do you know that a nursing student is in your class? And they say, well, because they're in scrubs. You mean in the English 101 they're in scrubs? It has nothing to do with nursing. Why are they in the scrubs in English 101? Public speaking. For what? It makes no sense. Because there's some psychological thing, this is not what my PhD is in, but I just know it's true, that when you dress the part, you want to be the part. So whatever business that you're going into, just pick a day. I'm going to dress like the people that are in that industry. Dress for success. Think for success. Don't come to class in slippers and house shoes expecting to look to actually be willing and ready to learn. You're ready to go to sleep because your attire is telling your body that. But like the nursing student who's in English 101, who has nothing to do with nursing in that particular class, actually looks like the nurse. So here's my challenge to you. You never know who's in the room. You never know who's in the building. So don't act like the college student. Act like the young professional that you're going to be. Act like the person you want to be a little years down the line, okay? And always take advantage of networking opportunities. And last but not least, the 4 R's. I know you forgot them. Don't worry, I got you. Here we go. I'm put them up there. Number 1, research, review, revamp, and refocus. I took that one because I thought that was just slick. I thought it was clever, and I love things like that, okay? And how I immediately apply that to my life. Listen, you hit a roadblock, go back and research. Next, review what you can do better. Next, revamp the process. Next, refocus on how you're going to get there. Okay? Easy. Now, somebody's going to say, no, it's not. It's easier said than done. But I know it's hard. I'm saying it's easy to do if you're willing to do it. It's easy to take a first step. To me, it's hard doing nothing. Okay? Okay. Kenny, here's what I took. Number one, small steps. I love how Kenny talked about he went back to his neighborhood. He was driving from MU back to his neighborhood to take a small step to improve his community. We can do that at any point. Maybe it's not something as to that extreme, but we surely can affect the people around us, can't we? See, you may not be able to change. I heard another quote. You may not be able to change the whole world, but you can definitely change the world around you. We can do that. And we can do that in small steps. We can do that in small steps. Next, change or change. I love this. See, here's the thing. If people don't change, change people. If the situation won't change, change your mind. If people won't change, that's okay. Sometimes we have to change people in our life to grow. And if you find that a certain environment does not fit for you, you either can change the environment or you can change the way you look at the environment. Above all, take action. Action is change. Make sense? And last but not least, a work in progress. And I love, he said this at the end. He says, I'm still going through things. And that's what I love, because no one on this stage today has come across as some perfectionist. I'm not. We're all a work in progress. But up until this point, at 40 years old, here's what I know, here's what I want to share. But I wake up every morning going back to today or back to the day and saying, hey, what do I need to know? What do I need to improve on? But I'm always searching and I'm always learning. You don't have to take what life hands you. That's your choice. That's your leadership decision. And I know some of you in the room, because I've had this same conversations with some of my students at USF, is this. We're scared to make a decision because we don't want to be wrong. And let me just help you. You don't have to make the right decision, but whatever decision you make, just make it right. You don't have to make the right decision, but whatever decision you make, just make it right. Well, how do you make it right? You have to embrace the process. You may have to ask the next best question. There's going to be a little sacrifice, a little pain involved, I promise, but I think the rewards are worth it. Okay? All right. So what's the common thread in all this? What's the common thread in all these presentations? Someone throw it out there. What do you think is the common thread? I gave you some highlights, okay? There may not be some of your takeaways, but these were some of my takeaways. What do you think? You've heard them all, you experienced them all. What would you say would be some of the highlights? Go, throw it out there to me. I'm gonna catch it. What is it? Growth, okay, I like it. Keep going, because that's true. All of us on the stage talked about some level of growth, whether it was me in academics, whether it was Madeline transitioning from one area to a new area, whether it was Dr. Megan going from step A to step B to finding her calling in higher education, or whether it was Kenny coming back to the place from an education standpoint that he started. Growth, 100%. What else? There's not one answer. Thank you. Leadership is a mindset. Realizing potential. Yes. Say it again. Okay, setting your priorities right. And I love it, getting refocused. And I think everyone on the stage talked about getting refocused. Yes. Persistence. Yep. And I know Kenny talked about this as well, but if you want to build your resilience, you have to be willing to go through resistance. If you want to build your resilience, if you want to be able to get up every time you get knocked down, you're going to have to be able to deal with the little resistance from life. Okay? Well, you may say, well, I don't understand what's resistance. The idea, resistance, as an example, is the idea of saying I can or I can't. Resistance. Okay? Here's what I believe, along with your ideas, but as I was thinking, summarizing, here's what I believe is the common thread of all of them. Personal truth. I love how Madeline said, and she talked about this idea of self-awareness and this truth that each one of us has inside of us and embracing our full story. See, understand this, if you don't respect my story, you can't respect my glory. You can't. I'm a full person. I'm all of me, of who I am, as you are too. And it's my hope that you would do just that. You would totally respect who you are. Every flaw, every gift, every talent that you have. Because someone needs the inspiration. Someone needs the encouragement. Someone needs the empowerment. That's what leadership is. It's embracing it all. As a leader, we can't say, I only want the good parts, not the bad. You don't buy a car and say, oh, I'll pay for the gas, but I will not pay for any brakes. Not what I do. You pay for all of it. Leadership is paying for all of it, all the time. Your personal truth is important. Don't run away from your story. Run towards your story. Okay. We'll watch this one clip. Thank you. And then I would love to hear, I'll ask you a couple questions on this. Then I'd love to hear whoever wants to share about the plan that they made up. Here we go.
Every blog, every website, every tweet, every Instagram post, you are so consumed with everything that's going on in the world, you're ignoring your own world. You can never shine trying to sit on someone else's sun. You can never figure out who you are if you're consumed in everything that everybody else is and what they're doing and the moves that they're making. Because you're trying to chase someone else's life. You're trying to chase someone else's lifestyle and identity, all while ignoring your own life and your own path. What is the vision for your life? What are the ideas and the dreams for your life? What are you supposed to be doing? Who are you? What are your gifts and talents? What is your ultimate destiny and your goals? You should understand this, that it was always going to be your family and your friends that would be the first ones to try and talk you out of your vision and your big idea. That's why you're supposed to live your life, focus on your intentions and do your thing.
Thoughts? Thoughts on the clip? Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's easy to get caught up in everyone else's life. You matter just as much as anyone else do. What else? Thoughts on the clip? Yes, yes. Yep. Yes. Paulo Coelho, I think I jacked his last name up, but Young Santiago, it's a great book. The Alchemist is a great book. Yes. Somebody's always going to try to shift you and move you here and there. They're going to say, hey, here's what you should do. You should do that. It's like, slow down, Eager Beaver. This is my life. I'm okay with doing it this way. Here's one thing I want you to take away from this. As you stated, it is so easy today to compare yourself to other people. It is all around us. The moment you pick up your phone and you go to IG, Snap, TikTok, whatever social media, and I'm not bashing social media. I'm just saying the ability to compare ourselves to anyone else is rampant. Everyone else's life is so much better. They're in a better school, in a better town, doing something so much great, so much better. The quickest way to diminish yourself is to continuously compare yourself to other people. You want to feel like crap tomorrow? Great. Wake up and look at someone else's life on social media and say, man, I wish I had what they had. We don't know how they got there. And when we make it up, their story is always better than our story. They always live the perfect life, and we're not living the perfect life. Well, how could we? My recommendation is this: take for what we see for a grain of salt. We don't have to compare. We are the original. You are the original. Even though I'm a twin, I am the original Ron Lewis. He's Rodney Lewis. Even though we look alike, there are some differences. You don't have to be like anyone else. And that's one thing I love about leadership, because it is saying, I am here, I'm here to do this, and that's going to take time. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And believe it or not, the people that we follow the most, those are the unique people. They're not trying to fit in. They're sometimes not even trying to stand out. They're just themselves. And they're okay with that. That authenticity and that genuineness is what we strive for. And I encourage you to do the same. Okay? Okay. On that note, it's funny because here we are. So don't worry about this. What I want to do is hear about what you have. But before you share, I just want you to take action now. And what does action mean? I mean, what does now mean? No opportunity wasted. That's what the word now means. No opportunity wasted. If you are going to show your gratitude to myself or your the personnel, the leadership that put this conference on, don't say thank you and do nothing. The ultimate sign of gratitude is taking action and implementing what you have heard today. I don't want to hear thank yous. I want to see action. The ultimate compliment is someone saying, I did that. That's the ultimate compliment. The ultimate compliment. Education, knowledge plus implementation. Now that's education. Knowledge plus implementation is education. Knowledge without implementation is useless information. Make sense? Okay. If you want that quote, I'll give it to you later. On that note, I would love to hear, what program did you create? What did you create in your group session? Yes. Oh, you're gonna go first? Okay, great. We have a microphone, like we're trying to be like professional. Oh my gosh. What you got?
Okay, so our group kind of came up with like that leadership is a journey. It's not just one day.
Yes.
So our group came up with something that is called Let Your Leadership Speak, and it would go over the course of a whole year.
Yeah.
And we are just hoping that it would provide an interactive and diverse enrichment to basically have a bunch of different skills in leadership, so like
Yes.
developing your skills.
Mhm.
So we came up with a thing that said it would be 8 different sessions.
Mhm.
And so in the end, you would get a certificate if you attended like a certain number of those.
Yeah.
So the first one would be like listening or communication across differences. So like all different types of people.
Mhm.
The second one would be how to deal with failure and vulnerability.
Mhm.
And then the third one would be like myths of leadership and like how
Yes.
to get outside of your comfort zone. The fourth would be like MU alums and where are they now? So seeing how their leadership has grown.
Yes.
The fifth one would be like a service project. So
Yep.
connecting with people in the community. And then more of like a career and development one. So like how you could use it throughout all careers. And then to inspire and mentor. So seeing how like seniors could impact freshmen and things like that.
Man, that is, give them a hand. I like that. I mean, I know all y'all did great, but man, that's pretty thorough. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. Good. Who else is willing to share? I know you got great ideas. Come on now. No, right here. We got Sam. What? Okay.
So we kind of did something similar,
Mhm.
but we just focused on a semester. So we wanted to
Okay.
do like a every month of a semester you meet. So in September we wanted to do, and this is for all students. It would be volunteer. Obviously staff would recommend students, but it would all come together. And in September we wanted to focus on vision.
Mhm.
We would break this down. We would do icebreakers. You'd meet your small group. We decided we wanted to put everybody that's in it in small groups because we thought that like you just would meet better, you would learn more about others
Sure.
better in a small group of 10. So we started with icebreakers, and then we're gonna form the groups on the first day. This is gonna be on a Saturday, and then we're gonna have an outside speaker come in, and They're gonna have worksheets for us, and this is gonna be all about vision and kind of building
You're
that.
gonna bring me in? Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Oh, Sam will
anytime,
talk
man.
fees and all that. That's no problem.
You're great, you're great, you deserve it.
Shameless plug. Go ahead, bro.
And then so in between each session we have each month, we're gonna do a halfway point that month. And that's gonna be where each individual of that group meets with their group leader. And that's gonna be kind of that one-on-one, because overall leadership is very like individualistic. So you gotta like be able to formulate those things, and that one-on-one meeting is gonna be for that. October, we're gonna do, the focus is gonna be how to be a better leader. Overall, it's gonna be like a step-by-step saying. We're gonna create a game or an activity that you can do with your small group, and then have an alumni speaker come. And this is gonna be on just a weeknight. It's gonna be like a 1-hour thing, kind of get a step-by-step leadership process, and then another halfway point to talk individually about those goals and how they tied into your vision and your focus. And then November, we wanted to talk about, like you kind of talked about today, negativity and failure, and how you can overcome that with creativity. How we wanted to do this though was do a panel of professors, and something as students, we see our professors every day and we don't really know much about them. We don't really know their life. So that's why we were we want to bring them in, and we want to see their failures, because as perfect as they might seem, they're people too.
Yep.
So kind of do a panel with our professors, and then just see what their failures were and see how they overcame. And then another halfway point, we wanted to do meet with a counselor or meet with your group leader. We felt that something people don't do enough is talk about their failures. So we thought that'd be smart, kind of get some things off your chest at that halfway point. And then December, we want to just reflect, meet with the small groups, address everything, go over the whole semester, all the work you put in through leadership, and kind of get everything wrapped up. And then, yeah, that's it.
Good job. Give him a hand. Good job. Good job. These are thorough plans. Wow. Anyone else before we depart? I mean, sharing is camera. Oh, we got one. Okay.
So our idea was for a event that's just going to be a one-time event, focused specifically on professional development.
Good.
So we wanted to have people come in, professionals or alumni, and you could go, probably have an all-day type of thing, and we'll have someone you can review your resumes, someone you can do mock interviews with, and just professionals that you can talk to and kind of get a feel for what you need to do to prepare for your career. And then Maddie will explain the other ones.
Okay. Talk to us, Maddie.
So then another part of this was we would like give out drinks and folders when they first come in, and then that way they kind of have something to like look at as they go around. And then for some of them, like the mock interviews or the resumes, we would have an RSVP about a week in advance, and that way they know like a specific time slot that they're coming in, so they don't have to wait.
Sure.
And then for some like student incentives, we would either have like counting for a VIA credit, or maybe have some other credit, or just providing like snacks or some free like prize type things.
Good, good. Give him a hand. Good job.
I can share as best as I can for the virtual group.
Okay.
So they came up with almost kind of like a day experience like today, called Asterisks, Footnotes of Leadership, really kind of focusing on some of the things we don't think about in leadership. What was the word? I don't have my notes with me. Unprecedented? Help me out, folks. I'm sorry, I left my notes in my office. Unconventional leadership. So things that we don't always think about with leadership. So everyone would take a pre-quiz before the event that would kind of identify the place where they would be most interested in digging a little deeper. And so there'd be an opening seminar, and then there would be like a lunch break and break time where people could go through a fair that would have some examples of these unconventional leadership opportunities or ways to be a leader, that would maybe have people or examples or stories of these things happening. But we don't want to call it a fair because we know for some folks that can be just a really difficult space when you think about walking into all the people. So we're really thinking intentionally about sensory overload spaces where you can get away from sensory overload and maybe do some reflecting and learning in a room that's not crazy and full of traffic. And then the afternoon will be the small focus groups based on your pre-quiz of what you wanted to kind of expand upon.
Good deal.
Hopefully I
Good
did that
deal.
justice.
Yes, give them a hand, our online people. Folks, it has been an absolute pleasure to be with you today. Thank you so much, Sam, for having me. Be great, be you. That's my time. Thank you, good people.
Thank you so much, Ron. And thank you all for sharing. That's all then. Thank you.